astrology and new moons. I am Josie the Mustang, the afro-latina goddess of witches, and you're aligned with the frequency of the luanovapodcast. And in today's episode, I want to talk to you a little bit about your own algorithm. When I wrote the book, Aphrodite's Algorithm, it wasn't just for Aphrodite devotees. Not at all. And it wasn't to convert anybody so that they start working with Aphrodite. It wasn't that either. It was based on wanting you to own your worthiness, wanting you to own who you are, to remember who you are. Because unfortunately, whether it be relationships, whether it be some dusty ex like Megan's, what's that guy's name? Clay something. Sometimes it can make you doubt who you are. It can make you question who you are. And Aphrodite is very, very anti that. She's very much so, this is who I am. I embody it. I'm amazing. I'm a goddess. And you're supposed to feel that way too. In the teachings of Aphrodite, many times the stories center around her being jealous. Now, why exactly would a goddess need to be jealous of anything or anyone? And so you can, when you get into really reading about her and understanding her, you understand that, wait, a man wrote that, didn't he? And today's episode is not about attacking men. So gentlemen, I'm not attacking you. This is just an example. But what happens oftentimes when insecure people, not just men, when they don't like that you are at a level that makes them uncomfortable, they will attack it. They will rewrite your story. And so that is what has happened for many of you, is that your algorithm has gotten completely muddied up. Think of TikTok, because TikTok is always a good example. TikTok has its own algorithm, right? But do you remember what the algorithm used to be like and how much better it was? The algorithm now is terrible. Somebody told TikTok they're unworthy, because you can tell in the algorithm. It is just trash now. It is just ads and things cheap stuff that you can get on AliExpress that they're trying to sell you for much more. And it's become such nonsense. And so as a human being, when our algorithm gets out of whack, then what happens? Then you start putting yourself down. Then you start questioning, can I really do this? You have that imposter syndrome. You stop showing up for yourself. You stop being that version of you that knew that you were capable of anything. When we were kids, we thought we were capable of anything. And then somewhere along the way, that began to get stripped away, right? And so Aphrodite teaches the exact opposite of being unworthy. She embodies anybody that is a devotee of me will think highly of themselves. You don't have to do glamour magic or anything like that. And again, when I wrote the book, it wasn't just with women in mind, although it centers on women. It wasn't just with devotees of Aphrodite in mind. It was everyone who needs to remember who the hell you are. Okay? So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But because I'm exhausted, and I'm going to be honest with you, there's a lot going on in my life. And I'm pushing through for you because this is my job. I'm supposed to podcast. So no matter what I'm going through, I am going to sit in front of this microphone and tell you, hey, you are worthy. And if I have to just keep reminding you repeatedly until something clicks with you, then I will. Because when it comes to manifestation, you can absolutely manifest anything, no matter what part of your life you're going through, no matter what kind of a person you are. However, I don't want to cry in a Ferrari. I don't want to be depressed in a Ferrari. I don't want to still hate my life in a Ferrari. That seems useless. All that money down the drain. And so I teach you to heal. Because many people will say, oh, you heal later. Oh, the Ferrari will heal you. No, it won't. No, it won't. Mm-mm. Who told you that nonsense? Look at these billionaires and how miserable they are. It's why they want to make everybody else miserable. And so I'm saying to you, why don't you be a happy billionaire? How about that? You're going to be a billionaire. Do it. Do some good in the world. Do something for somebody else. Stop centering everything on just you, narcissist. I'm not calling you all a narcissist. I'm calling people like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk narcissist. I'm like, we get it. You don't like yourself. And so you want the rest of the world to feel it. We get it. But you all are going to heal. If it is the last thing I do on this earth, you're going to. I'm not asking you. This big Virgo energy. I like for things to go my way. I like to make a list like the one here on the side in my iPad. And and I like to help. I'm great at helping. And so I'm trying to help you to own who you are, because that is what Aphrodite has done for me. It sounds like a sermon, I know, but but I promise you that the more that you learn, not even just about Aphrodite, but massive deities like Aphrodite, the more that you learn about them, the more that you understand your own God level. For those of you who grew up in any sort of religion, if you grew up in particular types of households, you may have been taught to fear everything, to fear the world, to fear God, to fear your own understanding. You may have been taught that you are below God. And when you start to learn about deities like Aphrodite, etc., you understand that they're teaching the exact opposite of that. They're not saying to you, you're not worthy, you're below me. They're saying, what would make you think that you weren't worthy? If you were made from the same energy that created the planets, then you are beyond worthy. And it also means that you embody those same traits. If Source created Jupiter, I know I've used this analogy before. What would make you think that Source somehow, when creating you, decided, well, this one doesn't really matter. This one should just fear me and do whatever I say. Do the planets do whatever Source says? Doesn't seem like it. I think that's why they have retrogrades. It doesn't really seem like it. And sidebar, there will be no episode on Pluto's retrograde, but I advise all of you to listen to astrologers that do not fearmonger. Listen to astrologers that actually know what they're talking about. They're not going to tell you that your particular sun sign is about to have a terrible week, terrible month, whatever. Listen to the astrologers that go in depth about retrogrades and not just that particular planet, how it affects everybody collectively, and understand that you have an entire birth chart. So yes, you may have been born a Virgo, but if you don't know your moon sign, your rising sign, your Jupiter sign, etc., then you only know a very small portion of your own story. It's why I advise people, learn your birth chart. Learn it, okay? Because it will help you to understand traits within you. Okay, I'm not just a Virgo sun. I'm also a Leo moon. It's why I like podcasting, but don't want to be at right front and center. Yes, I'm a Leo moon, but I'm not a Leo sun. A Leo sun may want to be front and center. Leo moon is like, that's okay. I can be back here. Virgo sun is like, I'm really great at this. I should do it. So this is what I mean. I'm using me as an example of, when you learn those traits about yourself, now it makes it easier to manifest. So even though I'm not going to have an episode about it, I'm advising everybody, listen to the astrologers that know what they're talking about. I'm going to find the names of some of the astrologers that I listen to so that I can mention them in a future episode. If I forget, forgive me, reach out to my team, say, hey, she never mentioned this, and I will bring it up. Okay. So before we get into today's episode, I don't know about you, I need a dance break. I'm so tired, guys. I haven't had any sleep at all. I am hanging in there, but I'm also hanging by a thread. So one moment, dance break.
Mueve la colita, new moons. This is the Sacral Chakra segment, a brief musical interlude designed to heal your nervous system. The following track is an original work written, produced, composed, and partially performed by Josie the Mustang. All rights reserved. Let's dance!
God is mood activated, aligned, magnetic. Yeah. Where's my favorite pen? It's time to grab my notebook. Jot vibes. I'm staying focused and receiving signs. Happiness is my destiny. Abundance is my legacy. 3 goals, 6 dreams, 9 fantasies. My aspirations are my reality. Lock in, love lots, look high. I'm exactly who I think I am. This aura can be bought. Lock in, love lots, look high. I set my intentions and a gratitude for all I got. Great things are coming, fantastic things are here. This is my moment, my year. 3 goals, 6 dreams, 9 fantasies. My aspirations are my reality. Lock in, love lots, look high. I'm exactly who I think I am. This world can't be bought. Lock in, love lots, look high. I set my intentions and a gratitude for all I got. Lock in, love lots, look high. I'm exactly who I think I am. This world can't be bought. Lock in, love lots, look high. I set my intentions and a gratitude for all I got. It's not soon, it's all mine now. And they ask what the secret is, I tell them I'm the how. Love lots, look high. I think I am. This world can be bought. Lock in, love lots, look high. I set my intentions and a gratitude for all I got. And so it is. And so it is.
And the song that you just heard is Lock In, and it is available on my debut album, Ethereal Pop Alchemist. You can listen to Ethereal Pop Alchemist, which includes Lock In and all of the other songs that I wrote, performed, etc., by going to Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music, I'm trying to remember all of them, Pandora, wherever it is that you listen to music. Okay, that's where you can hear my album, and also on the Lua Nova website, because I have it linked right there to Spotify, so you should be able to hear my album. Okay, but back to the show, and I cannot wait to share more songs with you. I've written so many songs, and you all are only getting to hear a very small portion because other songs aren't out yet. But just know that in June you will have 4 new songs to add to your playlist, because I created a EP of summer songs for you that is just 4 songs, just 4. But more on that another day. So back to Aphrodite's algorithm and how it relates to your algorithm. So what does an algorithm do? Think about when you go on, I honestly only use TikTok. I don't use any other form of social media, but Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, well, not Snapchat, right? Does anybody use Snapchat outside of cheaters and children and people who just want to use the cute filters? I don't think so. So maybe not Snapchat, but some of you are still on Twitter, and that's what I'm always going to call it. I don't know why you're still on there, but you know, it has an algorithm. And by the way, those of you who hate AI, an algorithm is AI. Just want you to know that. So it's been around a long time. You have an issue with AI, I understand. However, just know that you were already always using AI. Siri, all of the above. I was like, should I not say Siri too loud? Actually, my Siri's not cut on. At least not, I don't think it is. I don't know if it is on my iPad, but it didn't react, so I guess not. But what happens when you interact with a particular video? I know on TikTok, that's all you're going to see after that. If you interact with one Hello Kitty video, they think that that is all you want to see. Why would you want to see anything but Hello Kitty? And honestly, that annoys me, because I'm just like, okay, I do want to see other things too, guys. Can you show me something else? So TikTok does that. I don't know if the other social media platforms do, but when you're interacting with a particular type of video, what happens? You keep seeing the same thing over and over and over again. So what do you think it happens to your brain's algorithm, when you keep interacting with negativity? For example, when you say to yourself, I'm not enough. Universe, I'm simply using examples here. When you say to yourself, I can't do this, what does the universe do? It now activates that algorithm and it keeps giving you that. When you say to yourself, Oh, today is going to be the worst. What does the universe give you? Just that. Just that. Because that's exactly what you channeled your algorithm into. Of telling your own algorithm, I'm not worthy of having a good day. I'm not worthy. Instead of saying, you know what? It was the worst drivers ever on the freeway. But I made it here safely. I've got my Red Bull. By the way, not sponsored. I've got everything I need. And no, I don't want to be here. I want to be at home. I'd rather listen to this podcast at home. However, I'm here. I'm safe. And I'm going to power through this day. And it's going to be amazing. And I'm going to have a fun time at lunch, etc. What happens to your algorithm then? It switches, doesn't it? Every time. It switches. So start to pay more attention to the positive parts of your algorithm. Of, you know what? Yes, traffic was terrible. And I didn't start off my day the best way. I was rushing. And I don't like what I wore today. But I got to work on time. And I had a really good breakfast, I guess. You know, for those of you who eat breakfast. And that Red Bull was perfect. And my annoying boss is not here today. And start to pay attention to the parts of your algorithm that are great. For those of you who work remotely, you know, this is a little easier. I logged into work and there weren't 30,000 emails. There was 5. I can do 5 emails. And I got to quietly watch my show while I waited for a phone call to come in. That's what I mean by switching your algorithm. And you know what? I feel great because my skin looks amazing today. I look well rested even if I'm not. And I like how my nails are. You're switching that algorithm. That's what I'm referring to. Because when you feel unworthy, because you're never unworthy, but when you feel unworthy, it's not coming from you. You were taught that at some point in your life, whether it be from your parents, and I hope that wasn't the case, to that Dusty X. Shout out to Megan Thee Stallion being amazing and pushing through. But Dusty Clay, what does he think? That he could ever tear down somebody like Megan Thee Stallion? Are you serious? Like, and so what would happen if she began to embody that of somebody that's unworthy? We would likely never hear music from her again. We would likely never even see her again. But here she is on Broadway and she's thriving and she looks amazing. And she's likely working on a million projects that we don't know about. And do you think that's going to stop her? No. And I understand as somebody that has experienced a lot of heartbreak within the last 2 years, how hard it is to get up. How hard it is. But you got to. You have to get up. Recently, when my aunt passed away, everything in me wanted her to just get up. Please, just get up. Please keep fighting. Please keep moving. You've got to do this. And then it occurred to me, she was ready for a different chapter of her life. She was ready to move into another realm and that's how I see death personally. That's just how I personally see it. You don't have to see it the same way. She was ready, even if we weren't. And so what did it internally cause in me and my mother in particular? The will to keep pushing forward. To not allow anybody unworthy around us. To look at our own life and reflect. That's what it caused in me specifically. I shouldn't speak for my mother, but that's what it caused in me, is this will to just keep going and say, I'm not going to allow my aunt's story or mine to just be pushed to the side. And long story short, so that you all understand where I'm coming from, and I will likely go more in depth about this story on my Patreon. And I'm not pushing my Patreon. I'm just saying I'm not comfortable really talking about it in depth here. But my aunt did nothing but live her life. And even if I don't agree with how she was spiritually or how some of the things that she believed, nothing that she did deserved how things ended up for her. And it taught me a very difficult lesson in that you never really know anybody. You never really do. Because imagine knowing someone, and I'm being really vague on purpose here, for let's just say, I'm just going to throw out an example, maybe 10 years. And for 10 years straight, everything on the surface seems just fine. And then year 11 comes in, and all of a sudden, that is not the person you know. That person is a completely different person. Now, were there signs? Maybe. I wasn't there. So I'm going to say maybe. But obviously not big enough to know what was coming. And so what it taught me specifically is that, yes, I've always had my guard up really high, but to use discernment in a way that I never have before. I always have, but even more. To be careful about what I say to somebody, because here's what I mean by that. When you share things about your life, your trauma, terrible things that have happened to you, keep in mind that there are people that will use that against you, that will know that they can now control certain things about you, that they can now bring that up later to make you feel insecure, things like that. And you may think that, that would never happen to me. They would never do that. That's never going to happen. That's never a thing. But I want you to understand that I saw this happen and that it's happened to me too. And it's blowing my mind. But what I refuse to allow is for it to affect my own algorithm. I refuse. And if I can help you to understand that about yourself, then that was the point all along. We will all, unfortunately, experience some form of heartbreak and heartache and betrayal and friends that stab us in the back, or just jobs that put us down and made us feel unworthy. But it is up to us to say that is not a part of my algorithm. Get that out of here, TikTok. Think of it like those annoying, irritating TikTok ads that just keep pushing this cheap stuff that nobody really wants. It is that. What do? Personally, I go and block those accounts. You keep putting not interested, right? I'm not interested in that. Show me some more Hello Kitty stuff. Show me where I can buy that Hello Kitty purse. Show me that. I also like to watch dog videos. Those of you who have dogs, and some of you do now follow me on TikTok. Follow me on TikTok because I want to see your dogs. You know that I lost Hoshi. Pomeranians, it still breaks my heart to watch Pomeranians, especially when they look like my Hoshi. Is that what's going on? Hold on. What did I order? Well, I just got a... That was not a text from the universe. That was a text telling me that my order will be here in a moment. What did I order? What's going on? Anyway, I need you to filter out my own physical social media algorithm by, following me and posting your pets, because those make me smile. And that's what I mean. Getting to that, what it is that makes you smile, what it is that brightens your day, the parts of your day and the parts of your life that make you feel at peace, the parts of yourself that you love, so that little by little you begin to love every part of yourself. Not just I have nice eyelashes. Yeah, but what else? Let's talk about how great you are at writing. Let's talk about how outstanding of a human being you are. That's reprogramming that algorithm. And I'm sorry, new moons. One moment. I gotta run to the door. One moment. Oh, we got a text from Spirit. This week's text from the universe says, here we go. It says 3030. So that's your angel number this week, 3030. 3030. Embrace transformation. Embrace transformation. Your future is bright and it is evolving and growing. And again, that angel number is 3030. 30. Wow, Josie, come on. You got to take a nap. That's how I talk to myself. I coach myself. I have to take a nap. And your angel number this week is 3030. And the universe is encouraging you to embrace transformation. So we're going to jump back into the show before I close out, because there was a few more things I wanted to say. At the beginning of every single one of my songs, you will hear goddess mode activated, aligned, magnetic, right? Yes, that's my producer tag, because I also produce the music, but it ties into the energy activating of what I'm putting out to you. That's my own algorithm saying to you, this is for you. This is what I want for you. Rather it be feeling good about yourself or just being in a better mood. That goddess mode that I just activated is me not only activating my own goddess mode, but activating your energy as well. Okay. And so in order to do that, what happens? How did I get there? By healing. And it's not as easy as it sounds, but I want you to understand something. A goddess never questions anything about who they are. They never say to themselves, I'm not enough. They never say to themselves, well, this person didn't like me, so I'm not worthy. Because when you begin to actually own your worthiness, you become a match for what it is that you want to manifest. Think about it like this. Your algorithm doesn't chase you. It waits for you to show it what you are. Okay? And so when you stop chasing relationships, chasing validation, etc., you start resonating with this version of yourself that already was the algorithm. And so now what happens? It has no choice but to bring that exact want into your life. Just like I said earlier, you want to watch, like me, you like to watch puppy videos. Well, the algorithm's just going to keep giving you that. Okay, you want this high vibrational content? We're going to keep giving you that because this is what you're saying. This is what I'm worthy of. All right. And so I know that this whole concept of healing your worthiness, it does sound big, and it even sounds really vague. I could only give you the surface level of it. All right. Here on a podcast, but this is why I wrote Aphrodite's algorithm. I wanted to give you, I guess, the user manual. I wanted to give you this textbook, so to speak, of journal prompts, of my own insight as a tarot reader. And that way you could begin to understand where it is that you're blocked. And then Aphrodite's own channeled messages help to rewrite that coding in you, help you to understand this is how I fix my own algorithm. All right. But as I mentioned before, Aphrodite's algorithm at the time of this recording, it's already available to you in audio book form on Spotify, on Apple Music, on Pandora, etc. Okay. You don't have to subscribe to any audio book subscriptions or anything like that. You can just, wherever it is you listen to music, that's where you will be able to hear the album version of that book. Okay. Now it's not going to be fun in the way it's fun, but it's not going to be fun in the way that my music is. Okay. But there's more music coming for you too. So no worries there. All right. All right, new moons, I got to wrap it up here. I'm so exhausted and I might have sounded all over the place, but I'm going to own it. And Virgos, that's one thing that we got to heal about ourselves. We got to stop questioning and analyzing and criticizing every bit of everything that we do. If you are a creator, put that book out, put that music out, put that video out. Okay. Sell those lip glosses, do those eyelashes, Do whatever it is. You have a mobile detailing business, but you're not sure if it's good enough. It is good enough. Just put it out. Put it out. Do you know how many people are unworthy? And yet we are forced to constantly see them, or there's an unworthy person running the whole country. And yet, do you think that he ever questions his own worthiness? No. So why do you? Okay? But I got the new moons for aligning with the frequency of the Lua Nova podcast. If you have a question for me, or if you said, you know what, I remember you mentioning that I could ask for a copy of that very long disclaimer that you used to read. Can you send that to me? Or can you answer my question at some point, Josie? You don't answer a lot of our questions on this show anymore. Yes, eventually I will. And I try not to have a bunch of Q&A question episodes, but it looks like I'm going to need to have one very soon because my inbox is piling up. But you can send in your questions or ask for that disclaimer by going to luanovapodcast.net. It is also where you can learn about me. You can learn about Lua Nova, the brand, and not just the podcast. You can listen to the show. You can listen to my album, all the above. Okay. And if you would like more content, become a Patreon member. Download the Patreon app or go to patreon.com/the Lua Nova podcast. And I want to thank all of my listeners who love my readings or just want to help contribute to why I'm able to keep creating and creating and creating. And you can, if you want to, you don't have to, you can donate via Venmo or Cash App. My Venmo username is @LuaNova. My Cash App username is $Lua Nova Podcast. And if you would like to order the Aphrodite's Algorithm ebook or listen to it, because I think at the time of this recording, I think so, I'm not sure yet. I think at the time of this recording, you'll be able to listen to the book on the website because it will be on Spotify. So I'm going to just link it from my Spotify. You can go to goddessoflove.net. All right, new moons. I will talk to you. Let's see. What is today? I'll talk to you soon, new moons. All right. Ciao, ciao.